So, obvious liar Kellie-Jay Keen, ever the coward, has been forced to respond to a video that I made detailing her clear and explicit endorsement of race riots and politically motivated arson. Because now that Charlie Kirk has been unalived, with the shooter still completely unidentified, the right is trying to pretend like they would have nothing to do with politically motivated violence, which is an obvious lie that can be easily disproven by remembering what they were saying before the shooting happened.
You were okay with the race riots? Yeah, I fucking was, right? Somebody said, oh, you know, they set fire.
Attacking police stations, burning businesses, attacking police officers, lynching people, and attacking mosques.
Mate, I would burn an entire town. I would burn this country to the ground if somebody had threatened my daughter. Let me just tell you. I don't feel civilized when it comes to what I would do to protect my children. I'm not civilized. I'm not. I'm not. I would kill every last one of you if you threatened my daughter and people hid and covered up and silenced everyone. But
so to defend this obvious defense of not just the riots, but specifically the arson carried out against an occupied building, Kellie-Jay said, burn the entire town is regarding if someone took my children hostage and wouldn't release them. Clearly she doesn't even remember what the fuck she was talking about. But beyond that, it's not as though someone said, hey Kelly, what would you do if someone took your children hostage? Instead, she was making an analogy and essentially saying, if I was in the position of the rioters, not only would I have committed the arson that they committed, but I would have committed much more arson than they committed. That's the obvious implication of what she's saying. In the second half of the tweet, she's trying to walk back her use of the term race riots, arguing that she was merely taking the piss by using this term. And instead what she was saying was that she thinks that concerned citizens have the right to protest about illegal immigration. Apparently she missed the part where she was defending a violent attack completely outside the context of a riot or a protest against Muslim people who were just speaking about their religion on the street. Without equal justice, the disenfranchised will speak. Violence may be the only voice they think they have.
Yeah! Go on, you
So that wasn't protest is the only voice they think they have. Taking to the streets isn't the only voice they think they have. Violence, and specifically mob violence against random civilians. Now let's go back and look at the clip where she's comparing these race rioters to World War II veterans.
the men that weren't coming home knew they weren't coming home. And I guess I still have the memory, and I got that first story told by my grandfather to me. So it's a very real story for me. It's not a picture, it's not a book. It's not some testimony that I've read somewhere about some account of something. It's a really real story. And I just thought, who are those men? Well, they're the men that went out and got arrested for fighting, and causing a riot, I'm not saying that all of them were not criminal, and I'm not saying all of them were great people at all. They're the front line men. They're the men that would be cannon fodder, right? They're the front line. They're the front line. They're the front line.
So, there you have it. She specifically said that she would burn an entire town in response to people criticizing her supporting an action where specific buildings full of people were set on fire. That is an endorsement of politically motivated arson. Added to which, she specifically called the men who were, quote, fighting and, quote, causing a riot, quote, the front line of her movement. That is not at all the same as concerned citizens having the right to protest. And I brought this up with lots of Let Women Speak supporters because I used to be one. I've donated hundreds of dollars to Let Women Speak, spent days in the wake of the Let Women Speak Melbourne demonstration documenting specifically what happened. And this wasn't just me amusing myself. This video was so useful that Moira Deeming sent it to her lawyers to help with her defamation case. So I am very, very sympathetic to her position. The problem is that she has fundamentally shifted from the things that she was saying at that time. At that time, she was saying, we're a bipartisan movement, neither left nor right, anybody who's concerned, get on board. She was saying, we're from all religions and none. Now she's not saying any of that stuff. And she used to say, we're pro-free speech, we don't need to get violent. But now she's advocating political violence. You can't complain about getting soup dumped on your head if at the same time you're telling people who are committing arson, in a similar situation, I would commit even more arson.
And then somebody said, oh, you know, they set fire. I was like, mate, I would burn an entire town.
And just to clarify, I have offered to pay Kellie-Jay Keen hundreds of dollars to either do an interview with me or anyone who would be remotely critical of the bizarre positions that she is currently taking. Even when she was begging her supporters saying, oh, I'm so afraid, I don't know how I'm going to pay for all the security that I need. It's like, here's easy money if you're not afraid of simple dialogue, if that's what you actually believe in. But she doesn't. That's what was so remarkable about her responding to this, because she has me blocked. So evidently it made its way back to her, and she felt that it was a damning enough indictment that she had to respond with this piss-weak response. But it's all done behind a block because she is a coward.
Shine light to the thorns in their face to say a prayer to the Lord as they fall of her grace.
Now, regarding threatening other people's daughters, what does Kellie-Jay Keen think the mother and father of this 7-year-old Palestinian girl who's being ripped out of her house by soldiers are entitled to do with their rage? Are they entitled to burn an entire town? Are they entitled to kill everybody?
دخلوا علينا اليهود. أول ما دخلوا أخذوا الشباب شلعوهم كلهم ملبوس ولا حاجة عليهم. بعدين أخذوهم في مكان شبحوهم ذبحوهم من القتل. بعدين أخذوا النسوين بنت عمرها 14 سنة بنتي شلحوها أخذوا منها 100 مليون. شلحوها كل أواعيها؟ كل أواعيها شلحوها أخذوا منها 100 مليون وأخذوا منها الذهب أمانات لأختي. أخذوا منا جوالاتنا. أخذوا الأولاد الصغار فتشوهم كلهم بلطيس عملوا عمايلهم فينا. رمونا في الأرض وبالآخر بالطخ فوق رؤوسنا وحرقوا كل الأماكن. اليهود اجوا عملوا عمايلهم فينا ما خلوش حاجة. ضحكوا سرقوه فلوسكم جوالات. الداخلية قدامنا حرقوا أواعيكم الداخلية. قدامنا قدام عينينا ما خلوش بنات وولاد عياتهم قاعدين هنا في الشارع ولا حاجة، لا شادر ولا أواعي ولا أي شيء. وبعد هيك خلوهم يمشوا بدون أواعيهم ما رجعوا لكم الأواعي. يلا اطلعوا يا حيوانات ولا واحد فيكم يقرب. يلا روحوا. راحوا هناك قالوا لنا نروحوا على انصارات، قالوا لنا لا اللي بده يروح على الموت يروح على انصارات، روحوا على الجنوب، اللي بده يروح على الموت يروح هناك. وفي البرد هذا خلوا الاطفال يمشوا من غير ملابسهم. بنقول لهم اعطونا بس اي مبلغ من المصاري اللي اخذتوه. نو ماني معناش في المشمش. راحوا المصاري روحوا مشي يا حيوانات. هذا للنسوان بالطاق. حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل.
I don't feel civilized when it comes to what I would do to protect my children. I'm not civilized.
بلادنا ان شاء الله كل سنه راح يكون في 7 اكتوبر، مش هحدد لك التاريخ بس وعد من اما حروق قلبها من اما حروق قلبها.
I don't feel civilized when it comes to what I would do to protect my children. I'm not civilized.
من اما حروق قلبها كل سنه يا نتنياهو فيه 7 اكتوبر، وهذا باذن الله وعدنا عند الله ومنصوري وباذن الله منصوري.